have done that. Sense of anticipation beginning to grow here. It's our penultimate night.
The national record holder of New
Stadium
Zealand,
absolutely packed once again. Portia Bing of New Zealand has broken the national record twice this year. I think she's just spotted someone she knows and she looks totally relaxed. Jessie Knight, primary school teacher, didn't finish Tokyo last year but made the semis in Eugene, and listened to the reception for the young Englishwoman. Janieve Russell, can she join Debbie Flintoff, Sally Gunnell and Jana Pittman as a multiple champion? She won the title in 18, but it's going to be a hard job to defend the crown. Zani van der Walt is a brilliant junior, world youth champion, world junior champion, now the African champion. Could she be the athlete to stop a night of celebrations for the Jamaicans? Rushell Clayton, Pan Am bronze, a bronze in Doha as well. Shian Salmon, first in her heat, 55.3, the world junior silver medalist. Could she be the athlete? And will she be the mum celebrating? Unique Hay-Smith goes in 3 for Turks and Caicos, formerly represented Jamaica. Could be tough here. She came through in 4th place from her heat. And Sarah Carley, brilliant that she's even on the starting line. She severed an artery in her neck and almost died in February last year doing a weight session. It's been a remarkable transformation, and the Australians are rightfully proud of their 400-metre hurdler. She's done so well to get back to elite sport. Carley, Australia in 2. Hay-Smith, Turks and Caicos in 3. Salmon, Jamaica in 4. Clayton, Jamaica in 5. Van der Walt, South Africa 6. Russell, defending champion, Jamaica in 7. Knight, England in 8. Bing, New Zealand in 9. The stadium goes quiet for a brilliant battle to come in Birmingham. Which one of these women is less than a minute away from a place in athletics history? It's the final of the women's 400-metre hurdles.
Set.
This is a really intriguing showdown between 3 brilliant teammates from Jamaica. Pretty even at the moment. It's Russell, 3rd from the left-hand side, now bathed in sunshine. Knight has gone out hard. And going well is Clayton now, coming up onto the shoulder of her teammate. Salmon's on her inside. The Pan American bronze medalist is coming up towards the shoulder of the defending champion. There's never been a clean sweep in this event. It's Independence Day in Jamaica. Will the sun shine on the Caribbean island? Russell's coming back. The 3 Jamaicans are away and clear, but in which order will they finish? Russell's bidding for history. She becomes only the 4th woman to successfully defend the title. And the clean sweep does not happen because Van der Walt of South Africa came through like a steam train over the last 20 metres. The 3 of them were miles clear, but they didn't reckon on the young South African who has just added a Commonwealth medal to her African Championship title from earlier this year. But the gold belongs to Russell, as it did 4 years ago. She came under massive pressure from Rushell Clayton, but cometh the hour, cometh the champion. A great, great double for the Jamaicans on their Independence Day, but Van der Walt got on the podium to deny them the sweep. What a run by the youngster.
Well, what a contrasting race between the super experienced Janieve Russell, who retains her young, precocious talent, Zani van der Walt of South Africa. She misjudged her finish dramatically. She finished, as you said, Rob, in a personal best, like an absolute rocket over the last 50 metres. I mean, her run-in speed off the final barrier was ridiculous. She finished with so much running, and that, I think, might be why she's looking upset. She has a bronze medal in a major global championships, but boy, oh boy, did she misjudge that. She had so much running in her. I think she could have kept going for another 50 or 60 metres, and she would Would have won if there had been a little more track ahead of her. It's gold and silver for Jamaica, Russell and Salmon, but Van der Vaalt there, brilliant bronze for someone so tender in years, 22 years old, but I think she knows full well that she misjudged that. She was more or less in last place at halfway. There she is, fourth from left, hurdling behind everybody. I don't know what was going on in her head for the first 300.
Well, what a run down the last 50 by the South African. So this was Clayton coming through on the inside. She'd run a really strong 250. Now coming up to 300, she's clearly leading. There's Russell on the left, the defending champion. Salmon is a long way down at this stage, but now the Jamaican in the middle begins to pay for that early pace. And watch Van der Vaalt here. She's miles behind the three Jamaicans. But as Clayton begins to fade, Salmon moves ahead for second, only just. They've been separated by 2/1000ths of a second. The South African was finishing like a steam train, but while all that was going on around her, Janieve Russell has made a little piece of history here, becoming only the fourth woman to successfully defend this crown and only the third woman to win 3 successive medals, because as well as the gold on the Gold Coast and the title here in Birmingham, she was on the podium with a bronze back in Glasgow. It was a magnificent title defence by the Jamaican, who I think initially thought they had done the sweep. She hadn't seen Van der Vaalt, and neither did Shian Salmon until right towards the finish line.
Well, here we are, 150 metres to go. Great run from Britain. England's Jessie Knight, by the way, for 5th place. They're 55.11, not too far off 4th place. But here, the Jamaicans, Janieve Russell, saved a lot off that final barrier, storming away over the final 50 metres. Going backwards is Clayton, who ended up in 4th place. But look at that, coming into the picture like it's speeded up.
To tune up for this, Rushell Clayton, all-time number 10 in the world ever at this event. Well, Clayton got a great cheer. McLaughlin-Levrone, I'm sure the Jamaican crowd will give her an equally good welcome. Superstar of our sport. Shian Salmon has shown that she's got incredible ability in this event. 52.97, under 53 seconds, which is real high up world class. That was last year in Zurich. Kathleen Peters, the Dutch athlete who's again just come from the World Indoors, where she helped the Dutch to gold medal in the 4x4 relay. She ran the 3rd leg, handing over to Femke Bol, often the challenger to Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, and indeed a little while ago Dalilah Muhammad. So Muhammad on the inside in lane 2. We only have 7 athletes in this particular race. Wouldn't it be great to see Muhammad kind of rediscover some form of old in what she's already said is her final year?
It would be. So the last person to beat Sydney McLaughlin, and it took a world record to do it. The last 2 times she beat her world records. So you know what it takes to beat her. See what happens today.
So McLaughlin-Levrone in lane 5. Clayton and Knight, the 2 Jamaicans, in 6 and 7. Salmon also in 4. Sydney McLaughlin starts pretty quickly as expected, but Rushell Clayton's holding her through the first hurdle, just maybe a metre or so, not even that. The 2 of them going down the back straight, almost stride for stride, although McLaughlin-Levrone just forging ahead down the back straight into 200 metres. Clayton going well, others just starting to falter a little bit. Salmon a long, long way back. Dalilah Muhammad trying to work hard in lane 2 to get on terms. Clayton doing a level best to hang on to the American here, but McLaughlin-Levrone doing what she does best. Clayton just faltered off that one. Dalilah Muhammad moving through in lane 2 as well, but they're a long, long, long way behind. McLaughlin-Levrone over the last hurdle. Storms on now, just watch the clock here. See what she's going to give us here in Kingston. 52.76. Muhammad with an excellent run in lane 2 to take 2nd spot. and others perhaps suffering from going out hard with the best in the business. Really, really strong performance. Okay, this is the result we expected. I thought Mohammed ran really well to come through in second place. Not easy necessarily in lane 2. So the Americans getting a 1-2. Almost days of old there.
Yeah. Well, this is the fastest time ever run. She was going to get the fastest time ever run on Jamaican soil. Just outside of that, held by Rushell Clayton, who's in this race. But Sydney's a special 400-meter hurdle runner. She alternates for 7 hurdles, running 14 strides between, which is pretty unheard of. You got to be moving to be able to do that. Coming home, she'll let her stride shorten up a little bit, but she was clear of the field. I was pretty sure she was going to take it easy in this first race because early season, she knows she doesn't have to do much to win. And then she can try and put something down in that 400 tomorrow to secure the bag. But ultimately, at some point, I want to see her cross over with some of the faster women in the 4, you know?
You know, it's a measure of her ability. There's so many women in the world would dream of running 52.76, and she can make that look workmanlike. It was everyday performance, just easy, just comfortable. She was looking at the clock. I don't think she thought maybe she'd gone a bit quicker.
It looked like a stroll.
The women's 400-meter hurdles has evolved into one of the most competitive and narratively rich events in modern athletics, and 2 recent races, one defined by Jamaican depth, the other by American supremacy, perfectly illustrate the contrasting faces of excellence in this discipline. At the Commonwealth Games final in Birmingham, the spotlight fell squarely on Jamaica. With Janieve Russell, Shian Salmon, and Rushell Clayton all lining up, expectations of a clean sweep were not just hopeful, they were realistic. The race unfolded with relentless aggression. Jamaica didn't rely on one transcendent performance. Instead, it overwhelmed the field through collective strength. Each athlete attacked the hurdles with confidence, maintaining rhythm and speed deep into the final bend. The pressure was suffocating for the rest of the field, and by the home straight, it was clear that Jamaica had turned the final into a statement about system, depth, and sustained excellence. Yet, while Birmingham showcased the power of numbers, the Grand Slam track event in Kingston revealed the impact of singular greatness. Enter Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, the undisputed benchmark of the event. Making her 2025 season debut, she didn't simply win, she redefined the competitive landscape. Her 52.76-second performance, the fastest ever recorded in April, was delivered with an ease that bordered on surreal. Where the Jamaican final was frantic and physically demanding, McLaughlin-Levrone's race felt controlled, almost surgical. Every hurdle was cleared with identical spacing, every stride measured, every phase executed without visible strain. The contrast between the 2 races is striking. Jamaica's dominance in Birmingham came from depth and internal competition, 3 elite athletes pushing one another to the limit. In Kingston, however, the narrative shifted. Even against proven competitors like Russell and Clayton, McLaughlin-Levrone existed in a different competitive dimension. The Jamaicans ran well. The difference was that perfection stood in the lane beside them. Together, these races highlight why the women's 400-meter hurdles is entering a golden era. Jamaica represents the strongest collective force in the event, capable of overwhelming championships through depth alone. But standing above that depth is one athlete who continues to redefine what dominance looks like. In this era, the question is no longer who will medal. It's whether anyone can force Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone into a real fight.